Hello and welcome to my F1 25 driver career mode, here today for part 41 for the Mexican Grand Prix, another race in what is quickly becoming a very close championship battle with our teammate Charles Leclerc. So we come into qualifying now for the first time into the stadium section. We've got Jack Doohan just in front of us as we go through the final sector, and Jack Doohan's did a lovely job of parking it on the apex of the final corner, but we come up to the line, we cross it. That lap's only going to be good enough for P11. There's time now in this final corner because of Jack Doohan. We've found a 10th. Now can we find a bit more? We found 2. And now we round the final corner, cross the line, and we go up into P8. And then on our final run in qualifying, we found another 2 tenths thereabouts. As we come round the final corner, we come up to the line and we are going to start P7. This is the grid then ahead of the Mexican Grand Prix. It's another pole for Charles Leclerc. He's won every race since the summer break. He's alongside Oscar Piastri. Then it's Max Verstappen and Albon, Tsunoda and Sonny Hayes. We are alongside the Haas of Esteban Ocon. Then it's Bortoleto and George round out the top 10. Then it's Sainz and Colapinto, Lando and Mika Hakkinen, Piers and Oliver Behrman, Villeneuve and Hulkenberg, Jack Doohan and Kimi Antonelli. And on the final row of the grid is Liam Lawson and Pierre Gasly, both of them taking penalties. So as the cars make their way onto the grid now ahead of the Mexican Grand Prix, it's a fairly comfortable one stop today. We have to go forward in this race. Starting on mediums, we're going to go to the hards later on. This could be a big swing once again in the championship. Leclerc on pole, we are P7. The gap in the championship is 23 points as the 5 red lights come on for the Mexican Grand Prix, and the sprint to turn 1 begins as we've got a fairly okay start. Now we're going to look, it's a great start by Ocon as we look for the toe, heading down to the longest run of the season. We're going to find a lovely gap to the outside, late on the brakes, try and get round the outside of the red car. We've nearly hit the Williams, is still down the outside. That's going to turn to the inside, then back to the outside, and we get the traction, we get the exit, we get ahead of the Williams. And just in front of us now is everyone. Leclerc still leads though from Piastri, and now we are hunting down after Sonny Hayes, but we need to watch in the mirrors for the Williams. But we're getting closer and closer to the apex, and we're going to go down the inside into turn 1, get in before we even get to turn 1. And now up the road next is the Aston Martin of Max Verstappen, as he now is having a look at P2 Oscar Piastri as they head down towards turn 1 now, and it looks like Max has got that job done on the McLaren, and he has. And now this is allowing us to close in on this battle. We really need to get both of them here, but their pace was really strong despite battling, and we just couldn't stick with them. As now Piastri is going to try and get Max back here, and he has got the Aston Martin back. This is just allowing Leclerc to pull away, and now we were kind of trying to stick with them. We really had no pace on these mediums. They were starting to go off 7 laps into the race. You can see the rears are screaming out for some help as Piastri and Max are now 3 seconds up the road, and we're falling back into Sonny Hayes, who's going to try and get us back here down the pit straight, and he's got us there. We're going to have to go lunge him though back down the inside at turn 1, give him an elbow. He's still there though, but he backs out of that. We really need the points here today. We can't have another off weekend like we did in Singapore. We've ran wide though at the final corner, and now Sonny Hayes is going to have another chance to take this P4 from us as we head down towards turn 1. He's got the job done. We need to watch out though for Albon. He's having a little look, but we're going to send it late back down the inside once again, but this time Sonny Hayes is further alongside, but he can't get the traction, and we just about stay ahead of him, but he's got us on the exit because we've got no grip. And now we're going to go late back down the inside into turn 4, late on the brakes. Sonny Hayes had the DRS, but we are back ahead of that apex, holding on for dear life in this P4. But as we get to the end of lap 10, the tyres had gone. There was a big DRS train behind us, so we are going to go a lot earlier than we ideally want to. 5 laps earlier to be precise, and it's very, very slow. It's a slow stop, 5.6 seconds as we go onto the hard tyres. It's going to be a long stint, 25 laps to get to the end on this set of tyres, but we need to make it work, and hopefully we have a bit more pace on these hard tyres. It does mean we're probably going to have to do a lot of defending later on in this race, but let's see what happens. We have the grip now compared to what we did on those mediums, so hopefully we can get an undercut and get the gap out to those we were battling, as we caught the back of Villeneuve there and we overtook him like he's not even there as Mark was chuntering to us, and now we've caught those in front. We're kind of probably hurting our race a bit here because all of these are still yet to pit, as we're on the back now of Antonelli in the Mercedes. We're going to go for a daring lunge down the inside there and get the job done, keep it in between the white lines, and we get ahead now. And up the road next, oh, they're 3 wide in the background. They're 3 wide. Has he got the job done? They're still side by side. Antonelli is trying to hold him off here, and he has Behrman there, and so is Hakkinen. That's a great move as we're going to go late down the inside of Hulkenberg, take that place. It's all kicking off here on lap 13 of this Grand Prix, and by lap 14 we've caught the back of Gasly, and we take the Alpine there. We are very quickly carving our way through here, and now we're on the back of Hakkinen as we're going to go late to the outside. We're a bit too far back, but we're going to do the switch back, find the extra traction on our hard tyres down the inside to get that job done. Up the road next now is Behrman in the Haas. So it was Villeneuve who was having that battle with Antonelli, but can we get the Haas now? And we did, because he did hit. As now, this is Bortoletto's engine going bang, and now we're going to have to avoid him, go round the outside. The air is thin round here in Mexico. We're miles above sea level, and his engine has gone bang, as now this is Oscar Piastri, who we were fighting, pitting 8 laps after we pitted, but where are we? We are just behind him. We've got that gap out. It was 3 seconds before we stopped, and that has got us back into this race, but he is on much fresher tyres. But we've got into P4, we're back to where we were with that gap cut down, and we're sticking with the McLaren now. We really need to get on the podium today. We really need a good result, because apart from Monza, it's been a pretty shocking second half of the season, with that championship lead ticking down slightly. Down the inside, we're going to try and get the McLaren, and we do get the McLaren. Ocon, you may have seen, as parked up in the background. He is out of the race, and we are into P3 in this race. This is Ocon now. His engine going bang, as we see a replay of it here. Slowing down is Ocon, and it's another Ferrari engine, of course, as well. So the Ferrari engine struggling here in Mexico. That's 2 gone now, as now Piastri isn't having that. He wants the podium here in Mexico. To the inside he goes. Now it's a drag race down towards turn 1, but the DRS is going to drag him past. It's going to have to be a lunge on the brakes to retake the podium, but we're slightly too far back, and that may well be it with our battle with Piastri, unless we can stick with him and unless he can drag us along. But we're going to go to the outside and take the podium back from Piastri. It's a great move there, and we're back up on to the podium into P3. And in the background, Sonny Hayes may be fancying his chances here if he can catch this battle, but Piastri is going to have his back once again. This is turning into an unbelievable battle. Piastri there has got us. We're going to look late on the brakes once again. Piastri turns in, but we're going to try and keep it pinned around the outside, but we have to admit defeat and back out of it that time, unless we can find a way back past here on the brakes, but we don't have the DRS. Lap 25, and then Piastri found his groove and pulled over a second on us. 1.7, as the tyres did start to go off, of course. 8 laps as we struggle to get out of that final corner, and that's going to cost us time. And by lap 27, this is Sainz who has caught us. He's pitted, and now down the pit straight we go. Is Sainz going to take P4 from us? Yes, he is. We're going to have to be late on the brakes to get him back here, but Sainz is through, and there's not much we can do about that. We couldn't get the job done back down the inside. We were too far back, and then we just continued to drop and drop. Sainz is gone, and now we're battling the other McLaren of Lando Norris, holding on now to P5. We really need this. Lando though, lap 31 of this Grand Prix, the tyres are completely shot now. They are gone. We are going to have to get some very bruised elbows here as we give Lando the elbow. He backs out of that one, and we hang on to P5 for a couple of more corners in this Grand Prix. Now Lando's going to have us back again to the outside. He's going for it again. We're going to squeeze him. He can't get round the outside, and we once again stay in P5. The laps are ticking down, but Lando is getting closer and closer to us. He's pushing us down the straight this time with the DRS. Goes to the outside, takes P5 away from us, but we've got to go all in. We have no choice now. Late on the brakes, down the inside. We make Lando back out of that one, and we retake that position. But Lando, lap 33 now, there's just a couple to go here in Mexico. Lando's got us once again. We're going to tuck back into the slipstream here as we head down the straight. We're going to have to go for one hell of a lunge once more. Down the inside, we've gone for it. Lando tries to hold it around the outside. He's going to have the inside line now, but we are going to find some grip on these worn tyres to get ourselves just about ahead, but Lando is still there. Lando's pulled himself ahead this time, but we're going to cut back to the inside, go back down the inside, re-overtake the McLaren. Albon now is having a look at the McLaren, trying to go around the outside. It's turned into a big DRS train now, as lap 33 further around the lap to the inside, tries Lando, he locks up, and now Albon's trying to get around the outside into the stadium section. He has to back out of that one, but we may be about to be absolutely mugged as we head down towards turn 1. We really need a good exit here, but we've run a little bit wide. But here comes Lando Norris to the inside. Also Albon may have a double move here. Lando to the inside. Albon, is he finger to the outside? Yes, he is. We've been overtaken by Lando there. We're going to have to go late on the brakes once more down the inside. Lando's gone wide. Albon is fancy his chances to get through. Has Albon got through? I think he has. Yes, he has. Lando has lost 2 places there trying to gain 1, and that might give us some slight breathing space for now. As on to lap 35 of 36. Here comes Albon. He's going to try to get us to the outside. We're going to be late on the brakes once again. We are Bambi on ice at this point in the race. Albon though trying to keep it pinned around the outside. We're now going to have to hold it around the outside, and somehow these cars are still in our mirrors. But Albon's going to try again, is he? But he's too far back because he's coming under pressure from Lando Norris around the outside. That's going to go back to the inside for the McLaren. Can't he get the exit here? It looks like he might. Albon's trying to hold on though around the outside. Has he got the job done here? Has he kept the McLaren behind? But round the outside goes Lando Norris. It's a great move. That gave us a couple of corners of the time to relax. You can see the state of the tyres, especially that rear left is on fire. But now there's just one more lap to hold on. Here comes Lando Norris onto the final lap of the Mexican Grand Prix. Lando Norris is on the inside of us. We're going to tuck back into a slipstream, but we've been done. Are we going to be done by Albon? He's trying to get us to the outside. We're going to be late on the brakes to the inside. I think we may have made contact there with Lando. Now it's going to turn back to the inside. Lando tries to hold it around the outside, but he is going to have better traction. And the DRS as we head down towards turn 4. We're going to pull over to the racing line. Lando's hit us. Lando's put us in the wall. We've somehow kept the car in a straight line. We're all over the road. Lando trying to get up the inside of us now. It's a dramatic end to this Mexican Grand Prix. But still, Lando can't get past our Ferrari. Even with contact, putting us into the barrier there at turn 4. But up front, this man, untroubled once again this season. He continues his run of wins. He's won every single race since the summer break, and now he wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Max is going to be P2, Piastri P3, and we are somehow going to hold on for P5 in this race. We just need to get out of the final corner now. We round the final corner to finish P5.
What a performance! He's left the field behind. Charles Leclerc wins it.
And now with 4 race victories in a row, it shows the power that they have, this stranglehold on the championship, and it's for the others to try and stop them before it's too late.
Here we go then, the top 3 from the race making their way onto the rostrum. Back on top once again, please welcome our winner, Charles Leclerc.
That has been then your Mexican Grand Prix. It's won by Charles Leclerc. He keeps up that streak of wins since the summer break, gets the fast lap as well, but no point for that anymore. Max Verstappen is P2, beating Oscar Piastri in that battle they were having. Carlos Sainz finishes P4, and we somehow hold on to P5, holding off Lando Norris and Albon. Sonny Hayes couldn't really get in that battle. Those tyres were done from about lap 30. We were skating around this Mexican circuit. It's a crucial 10 points in the championship. And then down at the back there was 2 retirements today, that being Bortoletto, he went right in front of us, and then Ocon as well. Kimi Antonelli got caught up in some incident. He finishes a lap down in P20, the final finisher on the road today. So this is what it means then in terms of the Drivers' World Championship. 62 points was our lead coming into the summer break. Just a handful of races later, it is down to just 8 points. There is 3 races and a sprint race to go this season. Is this going to be the greatest comeback for Leclerc or the biggest bottle job for us? And then Lando Norris is P3, Albon is P4, and Oscar Piastri is P5 in the championship. Down at the back there's still 3 drivers who are still yet to score this season, that being both Salbers and Jack Doohan. In terms of the constructors as well, we are now, with that result, constructors world champions for the first time in a long time. McLaren are some way ahead of Williams. I think they may have wrapped up P2. Then Apex are P4. Aston Martin move up to P5, jumping Red Bull today. And then it is still just Sauber who are pointless this season. So that's been then your Mexican Grand Prix. Another critical moment in the championship battle. 8 points with just 3 races and a sprint to go. Brazil next time out is going to be a massive weekend in our championship battle. I'll see you in Brazil. Goodbye.